Assalamu alaikum students. I hope you all are fine and safe at your home. Take care of your parents and take care of yourself. Open English book. Today we will read English book of grade 7. So open it. Unit number 19, Macbeth. This is the story of Macbeth, a person and his wife. They were very greedy persons and wants to be a lord of Scotland. For this purpose, he killed many people who wants to create problem in his way to achieve the crown. That's why he was a greedy person, and as you people knows about it that greed is curse. So the end was the end of Macbeth was not so good because of his greedy nature. And this is on page number 119. We will start reading of this unit. Paragraph number 1. Once many years ago, there was a Scottish nobleman named Macbeth. He was the Thane or Lord of Glamps and a cousin of Duncan, King of Scotland. Macbeth was a general in the king's army, a brave man and a fine soldier. This is the introduction of Macbeth, that he was a very brave soldier of king's army, but he wants to be a king of the Scotland. That's why he create problem for everybody. And at the time the story opens, he was fighting for the king against the king of Norway and a wicked Scottish lord, the Thane of Cawdor, in the battle. The Thane of Cawdor was taken prisoner, and the Norwegian king was forced to surrender, and the victorious Macbeth returned to the king palace with his friend and fellow soldier Banquo. Banquo was also a character of the story, and he was a soldier and friend of Macbeth, and he wants to be a lord as well. They were victorious means Fateh. They fight against the other army and won, and by victory of that battle they came very happily to the king palace. Second paragraph, when on their way back from the battlefield they had to cross an open treeless stretch of the country called a heath. Heath was a heath means that the forest with the lots of trees. The day was dark and stormy, but suddenly a flash of lightning showed three mysterious figures standing in front of the two men. Suddenly, अचानक, flash, एक झटका, lighting, रोशनी, mysterious, पुरस्कार, dark, अंधेरा, stormy, तूफानी. It was a dark and stormy night when they saw three people standing in front of them. Who are these? So strange and wild in their appearance. Appearance zahir hona. And wild, jungly, strange, ajibo gharib, said Banquo in surprise. Banquo was surprised to see the men, that who are they and why they are standing in front of us. They do not look like human beings. The first which now addressed Macbeth, which means Churail ya Dine. The first one which talked to the Macbeth as Thane of Glamps, but the second called him Thane of Cawdor, and the third made an even more surprising statement. She said to Macbeth, "You will be king of Scotland." What the witches said to the Macbeth, that he will be king of Scotland in future, and he was surprised by the statement of witches at that time. Come to the next paragraph. While Macbeth and Banquo stood speechless with surprise. Speechless mean बगैर कुछ कहे. Stood खड़े थे. Surprise हैरान हुए. The witches turned to Banquo and said, "Your sons will be kings, although you will not." And then, with a flash of lightning and a roar of thunder, the three old witches disappeared. Thunder, तूफान, disappeared, गायब हो गए. But as they stood there wondering at the strange words they had heard, two noble men came. Page number 120, first paragraph. Riding across the heath towards them, The two noblemen riding across the forest towards them. They came towards the Macbeth and Banquo and wanted to say something. They brought the surprising news that King Duncan, wishing to reward Macbeth for his bravery in battle, had made them Thane of Cawdor in place of the wicked Thane who had been taken prisoner and sentenced to death. Meanwhile, King Duncan wished to show Macbeth great honor and decided to visit him at his castle. Macbeth asked permission to go home at once to prepare for the royal visit, but before he left the palace, he sent a letter to Lady Macbeth, his wife, telling her about the strange witches and how the first part of their promise had already come true. In this paragraph, they are saying that king was very happy for Macbeth and he called him in his castle and wanted to reward him for his bravery victory. That's why he called him in the castle, and before going there, he write a letter to his wife that how witches tell them about the first promise, and the first promise was that he will be a king of Cawdor. Next paragraph is now Lady Macbeth was a very ambitious woman, more cruel and determined. Ambitious means बुलंद नज़र and cruel means जालिम. Determined means तयन करना, तहैया करना, फैसला करना. Then her husband. She at once made up her mind that Macbeth should become king and that the quickest way to achieve this was to murder King Duncan. Duncan was already on his way to visit them, and it seems to her that fate was on her side. They were very happy and they decided to murder King Duncan, and wants to be a king of Duncan. That's why they decide to remove him from his way. Fate means kismat. The king arrived that evening, and after a meal he went early to bed. Go and wash the blood from your hands, said Lady Macbeth. Macbeth went into the king's bedroom and killed him with his dagger. Dagger means khanjar. And then she noticed that he had brought the blood-stained dagger with him. Why did you bring it? She asked. You must go back and leave it beside the sleeping servants as a witness that they have done this crime. The lady was very active, and she told him to kill the king with the dagger and leave the dagger with the servants, and it will show that the dagger did this murder, not a Macbeth. That's why they wants to prove this crime and that the servants did this all and they are not involved in this crime. Next paragraph, the news of Duncan's death was quickly carried to his sons Malcolm and Donalbain, and they, feeling sure that the servants were innocent and Macbeth guilty of the crime, hurriedly left Scotland. Macbeth took advantage of their flight and claimed that they must be guilty of the murder and must have paid Duncan's servant to do the deed. Macbeth was now Duncan's nearest relative in Scotland and therefore heir to the kingdom, and he was crowned king at once. Malcolm was the son of Duncan's, and guilty mean mujrim. Here mean waris hona, and thus the witch's second prophecy had come true, but Macbeth was not yet satisfied. Prophecy means patient going. It was true. What exactly happened? The second promise was also true, which described by the witches to them, and but he was not satisfied. Why Macbeth was not satisfied? Because he wants to achieve the things more and more. It was the greed which make him like this. And this is the story about the Macbeth and his wife. Learn these words meaning and do written practice of words meaning.